Morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Coles, featuring my mug that my wife made for me for Christmas. Thanks for showing up. I have actually an agenda today for this morning meeting, or morning chat. First, I'm going to go over what to do in the Lunar New Year Mine event. I have some thoughts on the best priorities you can do in this event. There are more Lunar New Year events coming up, so keep that in mind. I think with new heroes and new weapons, so know that's in the pipe. Then we got a look at the new Fire Horse as part of the event. I got the God account unlocked today, so we'll have access to the Fire Horse. I am probably not going to get him on my regular account. I have a new source of free gems. So with the most recent patch, they put that free gems thing up in the top left. So I've been playing with it. At this point, I've beaten most of the game, and I'm really only playing for boss brawl and to level up some heroes to 5 stars. So I have more time to try some of the free games, and then some Rune Portal math, Orchardist and BLT Baseball and Moratori. And I think it was not Orchardist, just Moratori and BLT Baseball. We're talking about how to use optimal runes in the Rune Portal using the Platinum pass. So I'll do the math and show you what Wave learned when he did it. So that's the rough agenda for today, starting off with the mine event and going from there. So this is the God account. So for everyone who's new, this is not my account. I am not cheating. This is just so Swift gives me this so that I can show you guys new stuff and so I can see the new stuff because I am a moderate whale. I'm like 400, 500 bucks in now after a year and a half, but I'm not a whale. I'm no Speedwagon, if you will. I don't know, just the first whale that came to mind. Good guy, super insightful. If you ever need someone to tell you about Sentry Specialist or how to whale like a whale, Speedwagon's your boy. Good guy. Okay. Hi everyone in chat. Saying hello to everybody in chat. Morning, Rob. Rob, you go by something else in a different platform so that I could know who you are. Let me know. Rocket Sauce, thanks for showing up, man. Appreciate it. Orchardist, Dialysis, nice to see you, bud. 10K keys. Yep. That's going to take a while. And I recommend spending other currency. The way I was able to like save up that much was because I would spend everything else as I got it. And I would just save for keys. So like a way to keep like a little bit of like the funness going. UK, Dr. Gabe, what's up? Wax Fruit, thanks for showing up, buddy. Rap City. And Charlos, I actually know who you are this time. Oh, and Midas is here. Midas, you are going to be a topic of discussion, buddy. At least you might be. I have it on my, if I can get to it in a half an hour time frame. So I am going to try and shorten these a bit. I've gotten feedback from several people, plus the fact that my shortest one ever did one of the best ever. I'm going to try and keep these a little shorter, pack them with more information, and then I'm going to try and do them on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. I've been so busy at work that I just haven't had the time, unfortunately. But my plan is to try and do one Tuesday night also. So that's the rough plan. So thanks for everybody for showing up. All right, cool. So hopping into the Mystery Mine. The Mystery Mine is the best event, second best event for free-to-play players after the grind event. For anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 gems, you can guarantee yourself the weapon or the hero. I think one time it took me 4,000 gems to get the hero. So the basic strategy, really quick, I have a whole video on how to do this, is you want to go down. You don't want to stop and go sideways, and you don't want to get the 15 point ores. You only want to get 45 or better. You do that general strategy, and the goal is to get down to the 600 depth here nugget. Like that's the plan. So this again is the God account. So I can just use resources stupidly. Don't do this in real life. One of the first big things, just like really quick tip, is you don't actually, so like the way my map started out here, I wouldn't actually want to start digging until I got this boar from chess. So like for me, this instance, like this rotation, I didn't have this boar as one of my options on my first day. So I didn't start playing until the second day because this board is super effective right here, right? It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 levels taken out plus an ore. So like that play right there is like a small optimization, right? But that like saves you like 8 or so pickaxes. And then Ideally, you want to just dig down, again, ignoring anything that isn't like a 45. So like boop, boop, and then boop. All right, so like I should have gone like that, right? You want to try and just optimize your way down, okay, as best you can. Now, you only buy pickaxes. So like I bought a borer there, don't pay attention. I was just trying to like grab one really quick. You only buy pickaxes and you buy them in like set increments, usually like 100 the first time, and then as many as you need. If you do it right, you should be spending about 1,500 again to 3,000 gems to hit the 600 depth. If you hit the 600 depth, you are basically guaranteed to have 10,000 ore, and usually you get more like 12,000. So that's the general plan. Dig down, skip the 15s, and only buy pickaxes. And then I can quickly, like, I won't bore you to death here, but like, right. So like you're generally trying to go down here. This actually takes like 15 minutes, so I'm not going to do it too much, but right. Like this is, all right, I should go this. Boop, boop. All right, this one doesn't matter. Try and stay in the middle. The middle gives you more options than the side little thing. And then you're going to see here, I'm waiting for going down to surface the little pocket guy up there. So I missed it, unfortunately. But the way it works is like you dig down and you let the game bring the treasure up to the top. Now, for treasure chests, it's a good example. It's actually worth it to stop and make sure you get it. So like that's not optimal. Treasure chest is worth about 8 pickaxes. So I should have stopped and tried to grab it. But right, generally you're going down. All right, cool. It does not consume a pickaxe to grab a little pocket guy, so you want to do that, and then just keep on your way down. And then you repeat this process going down as deep as you can. And unfortunately, I'm missing a whole lot of these ones, right? But that's generally how you do it. You want the game to surface them to the top, and then mine them, and then grab them, and then keep going down. Again, trying to stay towards the middle. Bomb optimization, same thing kind of as like as a borer. You want it so that you're going to be getting some resources in addition to clearing out mines. That's a general mine. Okay, so in the exchange this time has Dragon Empress, Scroll Sage, and Lotus Pike. One of the few times in the history of the game, I'm going to say get the weapon over the heroes. Lotus Pike, particularly if you're early and you're nowhere near the crit cap, is actually really, really strong. Let's see here. Collection, Lotus Pike. The big thing about Lotus Pike is it's global, is a plus 5% critical hit chance, which is the same as so it's 5% chance to double your damage. So this is basically like a 0.05 times increase to damage. I think is how that works. Maybe a little higher because you have 4 times chance for crit also. So this global, particularly early in the game, is super, super valuable. Later in the game, you might be towards the 100% crit cap, and so maybe a little bit less value, but early in the game is a great damage multiple. And these two heroes, which unfortunately I won't be able to see there, but the two heroes kind of suck. So Dragon Empress is fun, but these globals are garbage. Plus 2 projectile speed, plus 2 XP, plus 10% coin bonus, garbage. Don't need any of that. She's a fun hero, but those globals are god awful, and she doesn't have a forge. And then Scroll Sage is similar. Scroll Sage actually, I think, may have like the worst globals in the game. Where is this dude? 20 magic damage, 20 magic damage, 40 magic damage. I think those might actually be like one of the worst globals in the game. So the crit global from Lotus Pike makes it better than these two heroes, in my opinion. Now, if you already have Lotus Pike, grab a hero. And if you have to choose between the two heroes, I would go Dragon Empress. She's more fun over Scroll Sage. So I would go Lotus Pike. And then if you already have it, I would go Dragon Empress and then Scroll Sage. And then what you can do is, so you have a couple options here. There's the fun option and the smart option. So the smart option would be if you don't have Lotus Pike at 3-star Forge yet, grab Forge tokens. That's your best bet. You want to push Lotus Pike to 3-star Forge for the global. If you've already done that, let's say you have 3-star Lotus Pike, you could either go to 4-star Lotus Pike if it's still part of your rotation. It's a pretty strong weapon for normal mode and hard mode. And you can use it in Boss Brawl if you don't have some other weapons. So, like, it's a good weapon. I used to have it in the, I think, like an S- tier for special weapons. I might have it a little bit lower now because of how the meta has played out with new weapons. And Lotus Pike is a good source of bleed if you don't have it. But I think that's true. Someone double check me to make sure it is in chat. But I'm pretty sure it's a good source of bleed. But there are other weapons, I think, that have kind of moved it down in the priority out of the meta. So the smart thing to do is probably something with Lotus Pike or super tokens or hero shards to get those globals. But the more fun thing to do is buy Jade eggs. I generally hate eggs as a concept. Loot boxes in video games, I think, are awful. We should ban them. A form of gambling is bad for young men. It's all bad. But in this instance, it's fun. So if you have leftover currency, you could go for Jade eggs or enchanted eggs to try and get Dino or to get one of the new pets. I think technically the even smarter play is probably enchanted eggs if you don't have Dino. So again, it's Lotus Pike, then the heroes, Lotus Pike tokens, hero shards, and then fun. Or you could just have fun more like right off the bat and just go for these lottery tickets. Any leftover or goes to energy if you can spend it. That's actually the most efficient resource here. All right. That's the Lunar New Year mine event in a GIF. Boop. Anything I missed in the chat? Good morning, everybody that I have not said good morning to. Yes, Waxfruit. I had the same thing. There was a bug originally, and you had the Dragon Empress Forge token showing up in the mine. I was like, oh man, we're gonna get a Dragon Empress Forge for the event, and that's what I'm gonna spend. And no. Then I went and checked, and she didn't get a forge. They said they're not working on forges for old heroes for a while. They're only working on new content, which I think is probably just rehashes of the Krampus event. So keep that in mind. We're not getting any new forges for old heroes. I feel like eggs are a good investment. So eggs are not a good investment. Eggs are a lottery ticket. And I'll look at it now. So we'll go look at the horse. The horse, of course. Apparently I got Cannoneer too. Ooh, he's 160 instantly. That's pretty sweet. Again, guys, this is not my main account. This is a fake account. So, oh crap. Did she give me the horse? Uh-oh. She enabled it, but I don't know if she gave me the horse. I don't know if is Lena here? Can someone ping Lena? See if she can give me the horse. So here's the reason why I'm saying it's not an investment. Because if you look at the odds of getting one of these guys, the legendaries are a 1% chance, right? And you're guaranteed one after 80. So you're probably going to have to do all 80 attempts. And the only way you can get Jade eggs is from the different events that are going to happen throughout the course of the Lunar New Year. And, right, for example, we only get 25 here at a time. So that means you're going to have to buy all of the Jade eggs through all of the events. And, like, they're not just buyable elsewhere. So you're going to have to spend a shit ton of money to guarantee yourself one of those things. It's going to cost you. Yeah, Orchardist, right here. He's living proof. It's going to cost you money and or a lot of gems, and you're not guaranteed to get it. It is not an investment. It's a gamble. Now, if you want to have fun and do the gamble, fine. But definitely not an investment. And Jade eggs, right, are only part of the Lunar New Year. So at least enchanted eggs, if you buy them, you could potentially over many months accumulate them. Lunar New Year's go away, and the counter resets next year. So I wholeheartedly do not recommend buying Jade eggs. You can talk to Rayson from Cakery. He spent like $300, I think, or $400 trying to get Blazetail one time. So like, expect to spend $300 to get the pet. It's a lottery ticket, not an investment. Okay. That said, this game is supposed to be fun, and if you have the money, I would go for it. Whatever. Is $50 worth the grind event Legend Pass this month? can you get the hero free to play. You can always get the hero free to play. It takes about 1,200 gems, and I have a guide on the adventure section, the adventure mode, that explains how to get those. If you start on day 1 and you do all of your quests, it takes 1,200 gems or 1,400 gems to get the hero. That's 100% worth every month. Always do that. The gold pass is actually a really good value if you're going to spend 20 bucks. The gold pass is actually surprisingly good value all in because of all the hero shards you get for the hero. If like this is your first month playing, the gold pass actually isn't that bad of an idea to like jumpstart your HVH career. But you're going to have to I'm not a huge fan of them, but of the passes, I think it's a strong one. Okay, so unfortunately, I don't think Lena sent me the hero. Sent me the horse. So that's kind of sad. I wanted to look at this guy because the bad thing about pets is you can't actually like see what they do until you get into the game. Like you can't see the animations and stuff. So that's kind of sad. But let's see. The fire horse circles its owner, periodically releasing a fiery nova. So that sounds a lot like this. Stomps the ground, creating a shockwave. So, and then let's see. Burn. When low on health, the hero ignites burning hit enemies for a short time. When low on health, the hero ignites burning hit enemies for a short time. It's like every time you read anything in this game, it makes no sense. There's no damage multiple here. It's a bad sign. I imagine this will somehow do some kind of damage. Usually the multiple for a pet tells you how much it's going to be. Let's see effects. So like here, it's got 400% damage. The fire horse slams the ground, unleashing a fiery shockwave that burns and pushes back enemies, dealing 400% damage. Pushback there is nice. You'll take any kind of like impact on Horde. And then the ultimate, the fire horse circles its owner and creates a blazing storm that damages and burns enemies it touches, dealing 50% damage. 50% damage. What is this one? 100% damage. So the fire horse sounds a little bit like a Temu dinosaur to me. Each one of these sounds not quite as good as everything that Crystal Storage does. So I will real quick see if Lena magically shows up and sends me a horse. But a horse, of course. But for now, I don't really want to mine. I could like spend like 20 minutes mining. I'm just not going to do it. Let's see if I can at least get one. All right, guys. We got a 1% chance here. 1% chance of making the magic happen. Boo! And that's why you don't get jade eggs. So I'm sorry, guys. I will have Fire Horse on Wednesday. So sorry, Tuesday when I do a stream. I'll do a stream Tuesday night. I'll have Fire Horse then, and we can actually see what the thing looks like. Sorry about that. She did unlock the account. She just didn't send me the horse. All right. A little disappointing. Let's see. Anyone in chat? I can see the animation on the pet. Click on its head in the jade egg section. All right. So we go to the pets. And then we go to the eggs. Oh. Okay. Ooh. All right, let's see. Okay, so that every third one is the active. This guy's a... Ooh! Look at him running around in circles. Okay, I mean, this is cool. Thanks, guys. Thank you, team. Thank you, chat. Who was that in chat? Dr. Gabe and... Emma Britt. Am I Bree? Am I Breege? Am I Bree-J? Am I saying that right? Who knows? I'm so bad at freaking reading. It's bad. Hey, Paradox, thanks for showing up, dude. Derp always with the metaphysical thought in the middle of my live streams here. All right, okay, so we got the basic attack does nothing, right? Like basic attack literally doing nothing here. But then he's got his active, which is that dude, or it's whatever his ultimate, which is actually a pretty solid one. And then he's got a really fun ultimate. So I mean, this is pretty solid. I don't know what he's not casting his other ability while he's running around in circles like a madman. So that's not great. But he looks very much like Crystal Source. So I imagine he'll be pretty solid. The unfortunate thing here is his passive looks like it sucks. I mean, I don't know what the heck this means. But let's see. Collection, pets, this guy. When low on health, the hero ignites burning enemies. So it just like turns enemies on fire. So like it adds burning when you get low on health. That doesn't sound very good. This duration is actually pretty solid for expedition bonus, so like that's nice, but not make or break. All in all, this guy looks like very, very similar to Crystal Source, right? So if I do like, what are we doing? Pets, eggs, enchanted eggs. Can I see him here? No, I can't. Looks a lot like Crystal Source. So again, I'm not a huge egg guy. Eggs are not my jam unless I'm eating them for breakfast on toast. So I wouldn't recommend it, but it looks like a pretty solid. Does this not have I don't have the water crystal either. Wow. This god account isn't so godly anymore. It's been left in disarray. All right. So else I had on the agenda. So a quick look at Firehorse. We did the Lunar New Year. Oh, free gems. All right. I'm going to disconnect my screen here for just half a second so I can show you what I learned this week about free gems. So with the new patch, they moved the like little free gem thing onto like the front screen. And so I've been playing around with it a little bit to figure out if I can see. That's not right. Chris. Sorry, I didn't save my password in here for some reason. Oop. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do either. Whatever. It'll be okay. All right, I'm back. Back in the New York groove. So, they added this free guy up here. Don't use my Salesforce authenticator, although that's 20 minutes old, so it's not going to work. Let's see. So they added this free guy. Okay, so I started playing 2 free games to give them a shot. I tried Monopoly Go. This game sucks. I don't know. This is like, I think the biggest money-making thing in Hasbro history. Like, they have people that have played this game more than people play Heroes versus Hordes. Like, if you just go look at, like, I don't know, Mosin, there are more intense Monopoly Go players than Mosin. It's crazy. This game sucks. It's Dice Dash if Dice Dash was the whole game. It's so bad. It makes no sense. So getting these like 200-ish gems probably took me like 4 hours. Not worth it. Oh, someone just, who was that? Paradox? Hey, Paradox. Thanks for coming and explore for 5 months, dude. Appreciate it. I've always appreciated your support. This whole last year has been great, man. Thanks for showing up. Always appreciate it. Excentricat's here. Hooray. She showed up. All right. So, real quick on these games. So, Monopoly Go is awful. But then there's this game. What is it called? Puzzles and Survival. It's like 4 or 5 years old, I think. At least 3 years old. And it's got a lot going on. So basically it's one of the games where it looks like, you like shoot the things, like up there. And that's like one of the mini games, unfortunately. I really want to play a game where you just shoot the things. Like the math things, but that doesn't seem to exist. It's like always just in the spam ads. Anyway, it goes into being more of like a township type building game where you play like Candy Crush to beat bad guys. I don't know. It's like medium amount of fun, like not bad, but the dailies are what unlocks all these gems, and you can unlock a ton of gems. So I've been playing for 3 days, and I'm at 4,000 gems. Probably playing like 3 hours a day because it's actually fun. Like it's not playing a little Candy Crush on the side. So for 3 hours a day, it's like I'm getting 4,000 gems after 3 days, and it's going to scale up to 16,000 gems after like 16 days. So this game, if you have like 3 hours in the day to play because your Heroes vs. Hordes has no more content for you, and this is a pretty solid source of gems. And so the game is fine, but it's like this gems are easy to get. They're all just based on dailies, and the game's kind of medium fun. So Monopoly Go, awful. Don't understand how that's a bajillion-dollar company. And this puzzles and survival game, puzzles and survival. It's some kind of like built in Hong Kong. It might be stealing my information. I don't know, but it's got a good source of gems. All right. So I recommend that one if you want something else to do. And then lastly here, I got Rune Portal math. So I'm gonna move over to screen 2. Whee. And then see if I can catch this real quick. All right, here we go. Mac OS screen capture, properties, window capture. Cool. All right. So this is from Wave. Wave, for all you people that are new, Wave is OG, retired, one of the best players in the game of the past in Heroes versus Hordes. And he was one of my mentors in the cakery. My first day in the cakery, I had my like 202 fiasco. He's like, never do that again, Cole. So I'm like, all right, buddy. Thanks, Wave. But so what he did is he saved up runes. You can see here he saved up 20,000 runes. And then he got the legendary pass. And the legendary pass lets you choose wishlist heroes so that you can make sure that any pity 20 and 50 hero shard spin goes for one of them, and any RNG. So any random one you get also goes for them. And what I wanted to point out here, besides the fact that like the math starts making sense around, I think it's like 13 or 14,000 runestones. You can like get the legendary portal, and then it's cheaper than buying like the individual shards. He got 17,000 kind of like purposeful hero shards versus I think for that same amount of money, it's like $300, I think. Let me check real quick. No, it's $100 for every 400 purposeful ones. So this is the same value as like $400-ish, $450. If you were just gonna like buy, for example, hero shards. So if you wanted to buy this many purposeful hero shards, it cost you about $400. And instead you can get the platinum monthly pass. So that's the value there for like endgame players that are spending money. So BLT Baseball is on the path to doing this, for example. But what the interesting thing here is you can see the RNG odds, right? So he got at 50 here, he got 11 out of basically 1,100 spins. And that actually makes the math real easy. It's a 1 in 100 chance of getting a 50 shard guy. Like for every 100 pulls that you do in the portal, 1 out of those 100 will have a 50 shard random hero. You can also do the math on these, and he got 16 plus 7 is 24. But no, 23. Cole's doing math in real time. 24 total here. So you got basically double. So you have like a 2 and change % chance of getting a 20 and a 1% chance of getting a 50. So those are your odds. You know, for anyone that like whenever you get like, oh, what are the odds of me getting like red ones back to back? It's 1 in 100 times 1 in 100 is 1 in 10,000. So these are like the actual odds, like about the odds that you can have on any given spin. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then he did this awesome screenshot. That's like all of his pulls. I thought this was just really cool. This is like art. Look at this thing. It might be a really cool poster. You know, like if HVH cared at all about anything, they would make mugs, they would make posters, they would make stuffies. They cared at all about branding, but they don't really. So, but yeah, I thought this was really cool. So that's the math. You have a 1 in 100 chance of getting a red pull and a 2 in 100 chance of getting a yellow pull. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, that's all I had on the agenda. So real quick, let me just say hi to everyone else here that's in chat that I've missed. And any questions that I missed, because I've been going for a while here. I don't think this, so Charlos, I don't think he's going to be as good as Blazetail. I'll have more information on Tuesday for you. I'm working in Tulsa. If anyone's in Tulsa on Monday through Wednesday, you can come say hi. I'm gonna be in Tulsa this week at work. Let's see. Mr. Ed effort. I don't actually never watch Mr. Ed, so I don't really know what the horse would say. Did he a lady about a horse? All right. I am not a huge egg guy. So Garco, so that's Midas, right? Yes. So Excentricat answered your question for you. You don't need to spend on it at all for the grind event. The one thing you might consider is actually the time boost. So the game speed boost, that's actually probably a better value to make sure that you could hit all of them, but you don't need that. So my very first grind event was for Void Raven back in like June or July of 24, and you just run the game in the background at work and you'll be able to hit it. So you don't need it for sure. Yeah, Monopoly Go is awful. I don't understand how that game makes money. Yeah, 1,000 gems. So I was thinking about getting Chime. Chime has one where it's like if you set up a bank account and put a direct deposit in, it's like 4,000 gems. But I was doing the math and probably taking a couple hours, and I don't want to deal with that. I don't trust Chime generally. So let's see. If one of your heroes on the wish list gets maxed out, yes, you can change it. So that is what Wave was showing you there when he moved over to Assassin and Nutcracker, whoever it was. Yes, you can change it whenever you want during the month. 10% gold is, in my opinion, not worth it. If you look at my account, so I'm back on my regular account now. This is my regular human account, not the god account. I have 13 billion gold because I don't need any more gold. There is a point where you run out of needing gold and scrolls and keys. So gold is a resource that you eventually don't need anymore. And so I don't believe in the gold passives because it does help you get to talent level 1,000 faster. But once you hit talent level 1,000 and you have all your pets at like 400-ish like that, you no longer need any gold. So like this spinning, not this one. I guess this one. This one, like I don't need the keys and I really don't even need any of the weapons and I don't need the gold. Is there gold on this one? Yeah. So like this was a really crappy wheel for me now. I mean, like I'm not really complaining, but just like the way the things work. And then what's interesting here is I really wanted to get this vulnerability jewel because this one got my vulnerability up to 10, which was nice. Hooray for me. But I actually spun and I hit Scrap Hammer. So like I didn't want to get one of the weapons here or one of the tokens, and then I hit one. So sorry for taking the luck away from whoever needed it. But like now my Scrap Hammer has an extra 1,000 for no reason. So it's kind of sad. It does go to show you, though, if you do enough spins, eventually you hit this stuff. So I'll probably do this on Tuesday since I'll do Dark Horse on Tuesday. And I had a good conversation with Midas. Midas, I think, is in the chat, or he was in the chat earlier. He's a new player to the game, and he was worried about how to optimize his money spent on getting Warlord now. So he's like his first month. And is it worth spending the 50 to 70 bucks, whatever it is, in order to get Warlord? And then thinking like Scrap Hammer. So a little cliffhanger for next time. I'll go through the Midas conundrum with you guys and talk through like how I think early game people need to worry about spending money and then like why Warlord isn't worth it early game. So that's the teaser for Wednesday. Alrighty. Let's see here. Thank you everybody for showing up. Appreciate you stopping by to do some morning coffee or nighttime coffee with Coles. I want to say thank you to all of the executive producers. I wrote them down because there are a lot of you guys, and I want to make sure I don't miss anybody anymore. So we got Cake Invictus, Riverwind, TheWuba, Krabs, Charlos, Jason, Lady Ikaika, Paradox, Arc, TallaNasty. I had all those like sit down. Then Clinton, Cemar, Sumamormy, there's an R in there. Roz, VKNinja, Bunni. Bunni, surprisingly enough, is still a $5 a month executive producer. So appreciate that, Bunni. Bunni, for all you don't know, is one of the most infamous players to ever play HVH, and the Bunni character in the game is named after him. Orchardist, Excentricat, Cemar, Fricke, and Rip. Thank you, everybody, for your support. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for showing up in the morning to talk to me. Executive producers get entered in a monthly HVH giveaway, which I'm going to do now. I don't know if it's worth doing it on stream because you guys are just going to watch me like import stuff into a spreadsheet and hit random. Although one time I did not sort it right and had to get fixed. But yeah, if you become a $5 executive producer or a $1 member, you get an entry for every dollar that you are a member of each month. And it's for up to $20 in HVH value. I'll get you whatever is $20 or less in the game. I think Lady Ikaika has won it in the past. I think Cake Invictus has won it. I think Riverwind may have won it. I think TheWuba. I think Krabs. Krabs is the biggest OG, maybe, not to have won one yet. So thank you, everybody, for your support. Really appreciate it. I will see you Tuesday after work. And remember, always do your adventures.